Hey guys, little editor's note before the episode begins. The camera that we used to film would cut out every 10 minutes or so and stop recording, which is why there's some odd transitions in shots or sudden changes in topics. Thankfully, most of the conversations were coming to an end when the video cuts anyways, so you guys aren't missing much. Anyways, that's all I had to say. I hope you guys enjoy the episode. Welcome to our podcast. This is The Dinner Table. Today we are interviewing Mr. Smolinski, an econ and AP world teacher at Jackson County High School. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Nick Smolinski. I've been teaching here in Jackson County for approximately 6 years. I've been teaching world history most of that time. This is my first year teaching econ, and yeah, I'm super excited to be here.
So we have a small list of questions that we've collected for you. Okay. Some serious, some not.
Show them the questions.
Yeah. So just to start, what made you want to start teaching?
Well, actually, when I first graduated college, I was not on board. Well, I was not set to be a teacher. I was actually planning to go to law school originally, and then my initial plan was to kind of teach while I was going to law school. But since I had a degree in history and not education, I had to do more schooling in college to get my degree, not my degree, but my certification to teach.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like trying to balance two different degrees at the same time. So I thought I would kind of focus on the teaching degree first, then do the law degree. And as it happens, I just kind of stuck with teaching. So,
yeah.
And, what kind of law would you have gone into?
Probably criminal law. I mean, I don't know, right now, if I had gone that route, who knows what I would have studied. But I'm super big into law and order and true crime, so probably criminal law would have been something I would have pursued more than likely.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like a path that you'd want to continue at some point or no?
For what?
Getting into law.
I thought about also maybe being a diplomat or something.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Trying to work in a foreign consul because you got to have a degree in history.
Yeah.
I've been trying to study some foreign languages also. I've studied Russian and Japanese before.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm not fluent in each, but something like that would be kind of interesting to me, working as a consul. But to answer your question about the law, I could see myself doing it. I would have to, tackle law school, which is not easy. But I could for sure. Maybe doing that after I finish teaching, maybe do something in law for a little while.
Try out something new.
Yeah, maybe a paralegal or go for a law degree, yeah.
So what are some hobbies of yours? What do you go home to do?
So I like to read a lot. I like to watch true crime stuff, so I like to watch true crime documentaries, read true crime books. I like to go hiking and camping a lot.
That's cool. I've actually never been camping.
Really? Yeah, I used to play flag football a little bit. So, but yeah, those are some of the things I kind of like to do.
What's your favorite book?
Huh?
What's your favorite book?
My favorite book ever? Probably something by Agatha Christie. I'm kind of into mystery. I think probably my favorite book was the one, And Then There Were None. You guys know what that is?
I've heard the name, but I've never read it.
Yeah, that's probably considered one of her best books she ever made. I'm also big into fiction, Stephen King. I'm a big Stephen King fan, so yeah.
I like Stephen King.
Yeah, he's got some really off the wall ideas.
He's
very creative. He's very creative. I'll give him that. Yeah.
I've always been more of a Jordan Peterson type guy. Wait, not Jordan Peterson.
I was about to say, where were you going with that?
What?
What are you trying to
Jordan
say?
Peterson. What's his name? Something Peterson. I forgot.
That's funny. Who was your hero growing up? Who was somebody you looked up to?
Geez, that's a hard one. Probably my grandfather more than anything.
Yeah.
He was he was in the Marines, and he was always kind of a big role model growing up for me. And so when when I did graduate high school, I did join the Marines kind of in his path and footsteps. Probably he would probably be my biggest hero growing up for sure.
And when you were in the Marines, did that in some way help pay for your college?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I was kind of in the transition period because they had the first GI Bill, which paid for some of your college. And then I think they started it, I want to say in 2008 or 2009, but they started the post 9/11 GI Bill, and that kind of expanded your educational benefits. So I got my whole bachelor's degree paid for free.
Yeah,
nice.
Oh, that's great.
So
this is embarrassing. I met James Patterson.
James Patterson.
That's great. That's great.
There's a pretty big difference between Jordan Peterson.
I don't know, Jay Peterson Patterson.
One of those we're allowed to talk about, the other one we're not.
Yeah.
So, in terms of, I mean, I know you said you like true crime, but like, any other TV shows that you like really enjoy?
I was like really big into Game of Thrones when that was like hitting its peak.
Did you ever watch the ending? I've never.
Oh, I hated the last season just for clarity. And I actually started reading the books as well. But yeah, I was big into Game of Thrones, and I can't remember what else. I know there's some other shows I used to watch. Just can't think off the top of my head what they were. But for the most part now, I just watch a lot of true crime stuff. It's kind of like the big thing I'm into right now.
What about movies? Like, what's your favorite movie?
So, like, my favorite movie was probably growing up was like The Usual Suspects.
The Usual Suspects?
Yeah, have y'all ever seen that?
I've never heard of it. What's it about?
I'm familiar.
It's kind of like one of those movies where you don't really know what's going on until the very end.
Yeah.
It's told like in flashback sequences.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking
Yeah, it's one of those movies, and
like
the four main characters, they're like criminals, and they like sort of get indebted to this like major criminal, and they're like trying to figure out like they start getting killed off, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. But yeah, it's a really good movie. I was really big into that movie.
What about that one?
I was like into Marvel movies and Star Wars.
Yeah.
Star Wars and Marvel are probably two of the big movies I would watch a lot of.
Do you stay up to date with Marvel?
Oh yeah, I stay up to date with Marvel.
Who's your favorite hero?
I've like not seen the new Black Panther movie.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I've
good.
seen
I like
all
that
of
one.
I haven't seen that either.
I liked it. I thought it was a really good movie.
Yeah, I'm super big into Star Wars and Marvel.
Yeah.
This movie franchise.
Which of the Star Wars movies is your favorite?
I'm gonna say A New Hope. That was probably my favorite.
Yeah.
That was the first one. Yeah, that one was probably one of my favorites.
And what's that one movie? The more recent one, like House of Knives.
House of Knives.
Have you heard of the movie The Glass Onion? That one came out. It was like
Oh
the
yeah.
original
I watched
one.
the first one. I haven't seen The Glass Onion.
The Glass Onion. I'm real. I thought that one was stupid.
Yeah, it's on Netflix, isn't it?
I thought it
I
was
haven't
really
seen
stupid.
it.
Netflix movie.
But like the original one.
Yeah, like Knives Out. That was
Knives Out. That's
Knives
what
Out
it's
is Knives Out is really
I
solid.
thought that was a good movie.
So like out of movies and TV, like who's your favorite celebrity?
Favorite celebrity.
Like whether it's admiration of their work or like
Yeah.
Or if it's like in a
that's a
weird
tough
way.
this is like really weird.
Probably Chris Evans, maybe.
Chris Evans. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's a solid choice. Solid choice.
And okay, keeping on the celebrity thing. When you were a kid, who was your celebrity crush?
Like my celebrity crush.
Yeah.
Okay, this is going back to early 2000s. What's her name? Selma Hayek.
That's insane. Because that was my first celebrity crush too.
Yeah, she's just as attractive now as she was 20 years ago. Honestly.
I watched Grown Ups when I was little. Yeah, I thought she was hot.
I saw her in Dogma. Yeah,
Dogma?
She was in Dogma. Not SpongeBob. Silent Bob. And Jay. Yeah.
Oh, she was in SpongeBob there.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's awesome. Oh, that's great.
That and probably who's the British girl in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies?
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
I don't know what her name is.
I know she was another crush I had, a celebrity crush.
Yeah.
What's a good question we can ask you? You play any video games?
Oh yeah, I used to play a lot of video games. Not as much anymore.
What video games do you play?
So like what I did play a lot of was Star Wars games. I used to play Battlefront a lot.
Solid.
Yeah, I used to play. Well, this is going back to the N64. Star Fox.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Star
Star
Fox is a
Fox.
good game.
That's great.
So I played some Star Wars games, and I think when I got my PlayStation 3, I started getting into Call of Duty a little bit.
Yeah.
But I was like really big into like the RPGs.
Yeah.
So like Fallout 3, Fallout 4, Skyrim.
You ever played New Vegas?
I actually tried New Vegas, but it wasn't as good as like the Fallout 3.
I never played New Vegas itself, but I played it was the one by the same studio, Bethesda. I played Outer Worlds, and that one was really good. But like I get so distracted by all the side quests. It takes me forever.
Yeah, there's a lot of side quests.
I can't do RPG style games, but I do that.
Like I just remember like it's like Skyrim, you could play that game for years. And
I would always kill the NPCs.
Yeah,
fun part to run through town.
I played The Witcher.
The Witcher?
The Witcher 3 in particular.
Have you seen the show?
I've not seen it. Well, I take that back. I've seen a couple episodes, but I dropped Netflix because I got Hulu.
Yeah.
So I didn't really get a chance to finish it.
Like we've been thinking about dropping Netflix because they just get rid of everything that they have.
All the good shows they just stop making.
Yeah. Not much you can do about it. Though.
Yeah.
It's not a question we have written, but do you watch anime?
Yeah, I do watch anime. Some anime.
What's your top
I used
five?
to watch. So like when I was about, I wouldn't say y'all's age, but maybe like 8th grade, 9th grade.
Yeah.
Like Dragon Ball Z was kind of like the big thing that.
Oh yeah.
Came to the U.S. and you had Gundam Wing. So I used to watch those two a lot.
Do you ever collect and build the figures?
No, I never built the figures, but I used to be big into Dragon Ball Z and Gundam. And then I think there was another one. I was kind of Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop was
amazing. Yeah, it was amazing.
Love Cowboy Bebop. Okay, weird question. Would you rather have no arms or no legs?
Probably no arms, because at least you can walk. You
get
metal arms.
You can't grab anything.
But if you got metal arms, that's cool.
Oh, that's true.
Cool. Metal arms are cool.
It's a good self-defense weapon as well.
Now,
so.
yeah.
That's true. Adventure Time, you know.
Yeah.
Have
you ever watched Adventure Time?
What is it?
Adventure Time.
I don't know.
There's a main character. Like he loses his arm, and then he gets a metal one that like has a bunch of stuff on it. He uses it to like
just like the guy from Cowboy Bebop. Like,
metal
arms.
Okay, who is your best friend teacher here?
Probably Mr. Thompson.
Mr. T.
Mr. T.
I love Mr. T.
He's an awesome
Great guy.
You guys ever hang out out of school?
Not really, but we talk a lot every day. He and I are really in tune with each other and how we think and do.
We're actually interviewing him next, I think, on Thursday.
Yeah, for sure. I know he watches anime too. So.
Oh yeah, he has all the little anime things on his back.
I guess it's kind of odd to hear about because like when I'm here, teachers are very much like always here. It's a little odd to hear that y'all like don't know each other outside of school as much.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of hard. I mean, you guys will probably understand this when y'all get older, but once you'll get families and stuff, it's harder to have time to do social things together. But
it's just like not necessarily something that we think about because like y'all are around each other constantly, at least from our perspective.
Yeah, and plus like teachers got a lot of stuff to do a lot of times after school, so it's just hard to kind of balance all those things out.
So, what was school like for you when you were a kid?
Like what do you mean?
Well, I mean, just like I guess how is it different from when you were a kid, or at least from your perception?
School seems to be like a lot more open to new ideas, I would say. Just growing up in the early 2000s, things were still kind of like a lot more tight-lipped about certain things, but now it seems like the current generation is more open to like more like new and progressive ideas than what it was like 25 years ago, for sure.
And just like on that, it was like your general experience through school, like in what ways is that different, like I guess in not just culture, but in the way that it functioned?
Like what do you mean?
So like just the way that school was structured from then to now.
Like the way the school itself is structured.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty similar. We typically had just like the 50-minute class every day, and then you go to lunch and come back. But probably the biggest thing that I've seen is that like I said, you guys are like more open to like current ideas. Like things aren't super conservative like they used to be. You know, people seem open and accepting of new things and ideas than what they were back when I was in school, for sure.
In your class specifically, since I haven't had you as a teacher before, how open are you to like arguments and conversations about things that we cover in school?
I'm pretty open to debates. Like, if you guys I know, like when we talk about certain certain methodologies or certain ideas that existed, you know, we talk about, you know, how, you know, what are the merits of these things, or you know. What's changed? Like for example, how do we look at the past and make sort of like better knowledge of the future and those types of things?
Shameless plug, but we run the debate club. He's the sponsor. Come join the debate club.
First and third Thursdays of the month.
And it's entirely subjective, because I mean I've been teaching world history. That's what I got my degree in. So we talk about, you know, how if you look at history, it's very subjective. You know, if you look at World War II. From the American perspective, you'll see the Japanese as evil people, but if you look at study World War II through the Japanese lens, it's more about trying to combat the West's growing influence and try to expand their influence. So you always want to look at different perspectives of the past. That's kind of what world history should be about. It's just understanding not just one view of the past, but multiple views of the past, to get a total understanding of what it was like.
What made you want to be a history teacher?
So honestly, like I was actually going to study psychology when I went to college initially, and it was pretty interesting. Psychology has been something that was like a personal interest of mine. So like when I had the GI Bill, I was thinking like, okay, what would I study? And so I wanted to study. Just to get to know more psychology, because I wanted to become a psychologist. And then I think I got probably about a year or two into the degree. I had already finished all my core classes, so I was taking some very introductory psychology classes, and then I just wanted to study history so in terms of history, that was like probably the one subject growing up like I was good at, and I really liked history a lot. So I figured, like, you know, I might want to learn more about history, get like a more in-depth understanding of it, and so that's why I decided to study history.
Let's see, what's a good question here? Okay, so completely derailing the conversation. Would you rather know when you die or how you die?
Can I choose neither?
No, so
you have to choose one.
And assuming that they're set, so like if you die this way, there's nothing you can do to avoid it.
Yeah, I got you. I would just assume how. I think the knowing of when would probably be the most psychologically damaging thing.
But I don't know. From my perspective, I would say I would rather know when, because I feel like knowing how would only freak me out more. Because it's like, what if it's just like in a normal way, like you die drowning?
Yeah, but you gotta understand, you can't change whatever's gonna happen.
Assuming that it's a set thing that happens.
But obviously you can't change it how it happens. But like, say you learn that, oh, you're drowning now. Every time that you were around a big body of water, like every time you go to the pool, you're gonna be freaked out now. Because like, oh, what if this is how
this brings up a good like question though, is if you know how you're gonna die, like for example, drowning. How would you avoid drowning? You would just avoid water altogether.
I mean, I feel like it'd be one of those like self-fulfilling things, because it's like, what if by like
your avoidance of water actually is what ends up.
Yeah, because it's like technically like, you know, you avoid water so much that, oh my gosh, you run off the road because you're driving, you see a lake and you're like, oh my god, I don't want to go there, so you run off the road, you puncture your lung and you end up drowning on your own blood. You know, a little graphic.
You just drown in the bathtub by accident.
We're in the bathtub. Exactly.
That'd be a real shame.
Because it's like you also, like, at least knowing when you die, I mean, you could technically do whatever you wanted until that point.
Fair.
Because you could do anything you wanted up until like that day. Plus, like, you give yourself time to prepare for the death at least.
If it's set, you do get to do whatever beforehand. Like
I would just prefer to be in shock of when it happens instead of
I feel like it's nice to have a surprise. Also, if you try to avoid it your whole life, it's kind of anticlimactic a little bit. You know?
Yeah, it's probably gonna be nerve-wracking just knowing when you're gonna die. So
I feel like I'd just be like, I would just be terrified of it up until that point.
I mean, I don't know, because it's like, because a weird dream I had the other night, like 2 nights ago, actually. It's like, I had a dream that, like, I don't remember what led up to it, but a guy came up to me, stabbed me in the heart, and it's like, I fell over on the ground. I was like, oh my God, and he shot me in the neck. And I was like sitting there, and it's like, as everything's going to black, I'm like, oh my God, this is how I die. Like, there's no coming back from this. I guess I have to accept it. And it's just like, it was me, like, in the matter of like 5 seconds, I was like, man, I guess I have to accept this.
I'm sure that's what goes through people's mind when they are dying.
Mm-hmm.
It's just gonna happen now.
And then I woke up.
You can't do anything about it.
Yeah, you can't do anything about it. You feel helpless.
You might as well come to terms with it at some point. I guess I just don't like the thought of knowing when. I'd be too nervous.
But it's just like, I feel like it would be the same thing with knowing how, because it's like, anything that's related to that how, I feel like I'd be nervous around,
I feel like being imminently afraid of a date is a little bit better than being afraid of something else, because I'm already afraid of plenty of things. Like tight spaces, I already don't go in those. I mean, there's tons of stuff you avoid already.
But it's like
another thing.
But like, it's the thing that's like, you can justify it to yourself. Like, if you're afraid of a plane, I'm going on planes, right? You can justify it to yourself, like, oh, well, it's super rare for a plane to actually crash or die on a plane, whatever. But if you're told that, you die in a plane crash or you die in a car crash, every time you go on a plane or a car, you're going to be freaked out.
I'm afraid of flying.
I like flying, but
every time I'm flying, I'm convinced I'm going to die in a plane crash. I don't know.
I flew to Denver over the summer, and it was in the middle of a storm, and the plane was like, it was not fun.
I've flown like twice in my life. I don't even remember the first time, but the second time it was like, I went to Mexico. It was going to and from Mexico. It was a pretty nice flight. It was just, I hated not being able to taste anything because you're so high up and your taste isn't great. And
that is the deal with airline.
That's the deal with airline food.
The pressure in your ears. Yeah, I don't like that part.
You stick earbuds in, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say you are put in the middle of the woods, right? And you have nothing but your surrounding items. Do you think you could beat a black bear in a fight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
How do you go about beating a black bear?
Well, I mean, you got to get something to hit it with, probably.
Yeah.
Also, the black bear is specifically attacking you, so you can't do the whole like black fight back.
Yeah,
it's gonna attack you.
I mean, I'm sure you're gonna have like your endorphins kicking in, and you're gonna start hitting it.
It's got boxing gloves on.
Get a nice solid branch, crack it over the head. Yeah.
I was actually talking about that in my 4th period today, because I was thinking about like a while back. I was thinking about like, if I was put in a situation like where I'm in the wild or anything, I think all I would really need for like in case of animals would be like a metal baseball bat.
A spear would be solid. You can fashion a spear.
But like a spear is like really fragile. You hit it and it goes wrong. Like because like my go-to animal when I think about it is like a tiger, because I feel like that would be the most dangerous thing against a person.
I wouldn't.
I don't think I would win against a tiger.
But like with a baseball bat, like blunt force, boom, right to the head.
If you could hit it first is the problem. Are we good now?
Yeah.
All right. Where were we?
Talking about how a grizzly bear would absolutely kill you.
Oh yeah.
The grizzly bear, there's no way.
You don't win
last a minute against that.
No. I don't know if there's anything you can do against that. Like I'm sure there.
There's the rhyme. There's like if it's black, fight back. If it's brown, lay down. So if you play dead with a grizzly,
but we're assuming it's trying to fight you.
Polar bear, you're dead. You're dead.
Yeah,
if it's a polar bear.
Polar bears are vicious. Yeah.
There are parts of Canada where it's completely illegal to lock your doors in case somebody gets attacked by a polar bear.
Polar bears actually eat humans.
Yeah, like polar bears are the only animal that actively will hunt humans.
Yeah. Well, there's just other bears. There's a sloth bear that'll attack you, but they won't eat you. They'll just kill you.
Sloth. Wait, aren't those the really ugly ones?
They're the crazy ones that look like people in suits. They walk around like this. They're kind of gross. What's your favorite animal?
Oh, that's a good question.
Favorite animal? Probably a wolf.
A wolf? That's a solid animal.
Wolves are cool.
I like that.
Would you say that's your spirit animal?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, kind of like that pack mentality, the pack animal.
Yeah. I like pack animals. I like hive mind animals too.
Hive minds, yeah.
I think it's neat.
Bees and ants.
Yeah.
Have you watched The Last of Us? The show on HBO Max. It's so good.
I don't have HBO Max. I've played the game, but I've never.
The game is so
watch
much.
the show,
I've also played the game. It was really cool because I was able to like play the game at the same pace that I was watching the show.
Oh yeah.
It was a really cool experience because it's like they changed the game a little bit because you remember Henry and Sam, right?
It's been so long since I played the game.
It's the little kid, like the big brother and little brother.
I just remember it had the guy and the little girl that he was protecting.
Yeah.
That's all I can remember about the game.
Yeah, that's fair.
And you would just kill monsters and go from one place to the next.
I sucked at it at first. I'm awful at stealth games. I've gotten used to it now though, because I'm able to play it a little bit more often. But when I first started, I was awful at it.
Yeah.
Because I would sit there next to my girlfriend.
Yeah,
and
stealth games aren't fun to me.
They're not fun to you?
No.
Like what?
Like stealth games, I don't like stealth.
Oh, I think you said stealth games.
I love stealth games. I like Hitman.
I like the
that
option.
game's awesome.
I like the option, like in The Last of Us. I like the option of stealth, or you can go.
Yeah, like the Assassin's Creed games. I used to play some of those.
Those are good.
So it's kind of like a stealth game, but
I had a couple of them.
Yeah.
They were.
I think I had the first two. And that was it.
Yeah. I want to say they were all right. That's how I felt about them. Would you rather further space exploration or ocean exploration?
Oh, definitely space. Space exploration.
And why?
Yeah, why?
Well, I mean, like I watch Star Wars a lot, so who knows? Like if you venture further enough, you might find a galaxy that has all kinds of neat stuff.
Yeah.
But like why? But why not like ocean exploration? Because it's like we've only.
What's the benefit of furthering ocean exploration?
Well, what's the benefit of furthering space exploration?
Well, at least there's more space than there is ocean.
Yeah, but like at the very least, there's a limited ocean. So at the very least, we have an end goal. When we can say, yeah, we explored the oceans, we can say we're done, and then we can move to
space. Space is the final frontier.
I mean,
sure. Can't go anywhere other than that.
But, I mean, that's true. But like, what if exploring the ocean is like where we find, resources or whatever that allows for space travel?
If there was something in the ocean worth finding, they would have found it by now.
Yeah. I mean, sure, but I don't know. I think
people are still trying to find that one species that might still exist, but probably doesn't.
I mean, that's the story forever. At this point.
I mean, yeah.
Whereas the space, you don't know what's out there. There could be anything out there.
It's all new.
Yeah.
I mean,
it depends though, because it's like because I feel like if we put more money into space exploration, maybe we can make it to Mars. Because I feel like that's the next.
You can make it to Mars. I think just
well, yeah, we could do Mars.
Terraforming the planet would be really hard. But
yeah.
I mean, first
you could reach Mars. That's not really a problem.
Yeah, because I feel like the first step would be like go to the moon, get stuff on the moon, somehow make a launch pad at the moon, and then go to Mars from there. Because it's like. Since technically the moon has less gravity, so it'd be easier to do that. Because it's like I've seen videos on it. It's like that's just what makes the most logical sense.
Yeah, because it's got a lower gravitational force against you when you're trying to go out of it. I guess what's the most what would be the most cool thing to see in space? Like if we can get
I don't know, probably foreign life. Maybe foreign sentient life would be something that would be really groundbreaking.
But you don't think it would be it would cause a lot of panic?
It would, but I mean,
I think it could. I don't think it would.
I think the panic wouldn't help any situation.
Yeah.
What if it was like an Avatar type situation, like one of Saturn's moons has
that'd be very cool.
Sentient life?
Yeah.
Awesome. I guess if we are to find sentient life, what do you think it would look like? Like in terms of, would it be in some way reminiscent to us in the way that we function, or completely different?
It could be a bit of both. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, they say war is a universal language, so I'm sure that would probably be prevalent in places. They also might not have the technology we do, so there might be a more type of society. I mean, I think when with movies they kind of paint as like a super advanced, but that might not always be the case. Yeah.
If we do that, I'm sure we would find groups of extraterrestrial life that is just as sentient as us, but nowhere near as far along as us.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
How crazy would it be?
Yeah, that's the case with Avatar, isn't it? Aren't the aliens they find less advanced, less civilized?
They don't have as much technology.
Yeah.
What if it was how crazy would it be if we go out there and we find other humans? What if we go to Mars and we see human fossils?
It'd be so scary.
That would be horrifying.
It's possible.
Yeah.
What was that one movie? It was the what's the word? The prequel to Alien, like where they go to Mars and they find the human remains and everything, and then like the girl gets the octopus.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know the movie you're talking about. They have that little black liquid that accelerates evolution somehow.
Yeah.
And so like, once you're exposed to it, it creates like rapid evolutionary changes. Yeah.
That movie traumatized me as a kid. I didn't understand it at all, but it was scary.
Speaking of movies that traumatized you as children, what did you have a traumatizing movie experience as a kid?
Yeah, except like the older you get, the cornier the movie is now. But the first It.
Yeah. The first It.
I was scared of that movie, and then like I watched it like before the new It came out. I was like, this is corny.
Yeah. I watched, I think it was World War Z, and I watched somebody get their face ripped off, and I was like 6 or 7, and it was like.
You know what messed me up as a kid was Chucky. Chucky and Final Destination. Those two.
Yeah, I've never seen the Final Destination, but Chucky was
Final Destination is so stupid. It's just how can we kill these people in the most insane ways?
Yeah,
because it's kind of a funny concept.
It's a funny concept, but it's like it's so stupid. Because one of them was like there were a bunch of kids on a school bus like on a bridge, and like because one guy with a jackhammer is like doing work on the bridge, it caused a whole crack in the bridge and like the whole thing falls down.
Like that wouldn't happen.
And like one of the characters dies because he's hanging on like to the bridge because he's like at the crack, and then a truck with like a bunch of like what's it called? The metal rods. I forgot what they're called.
You talking about rebar?
Yeah, rebar. Yeah, a bunch of rebar. It like falls down and he like gets impaled by like 20 rebar things. It is just like it's insane.
To go back to a less insane topic, what were some of your past jobs before this?
So I was in the Marines, and then
how long were you in the Marines for?
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah, just 4 years. And then I started teaching right out of after I got my degree. Mm-hmm. So like prior to the Marines, I think I worked at Kroger for probably a year or two, and that was it. So yeah.
Did you grow up in this area?
No, I actually grew up in Savannah.
Yeah. It's beautiful there.
It's really nice.
It's so much more beautiful than it is.
I went there.
Very hot.
I was like, wow, a walkable city. What is this?
Right?
Let's see. I don't know. Do you have any questions for us?
No.
You have no questions that you think to ask students?
No, I think I'm pretty good. I think this has been pretty fun.
Yeah.
What's a topic that you can talk about for hours?
Oh, a topic I could talk about for hours. True crime.
True crime?
Yeah.
What would be your favorite true crime thing then?
Probably like the Zodiac or Jack the Ripper.
Yeah.
Those are the two things I like to talk about.
Have you heard about the thing that like they found the Zodiac killer? Like he's dead now.
Oh, they keep saying that. Yeah.
No, they found his basement that had like photos of the murders that were like Polaroided and hung up.
And it was
on
like
the wall.
the only reason that they couldn't find him for so long is because he made a typo in his code, and so like they couldn't figure it out from there.
Correct.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Also, he like would trash talk other serial killers because I think it was
Ted Bundy.
It was the Ted Bundy movie, like or like a documentary or something, and he was like writing trash reviews saying that he was like a nerd.
Really funny to think about. He's like, you suck. You're not as cool as I am.
Have you watched the Dahmer show that came out on Netflix?
No. I saw the one about Ted Bundy, but I didn't see the one about Dahmer. No.
What was the dude that played Dahmer in that? He did some Disney shit.
Evan Peters, I think.
Evan Peters?
Yeah.
Like, what did he do? What was he in?
He's in American Horror Story.
American Horror Story?
Yeah.
Do we have anything else?
Okay. If you could go back and interview any historical figure, like what we're doing, or, like ask them genuine questions, who would it be?
If I could meet anybody?
Well, meet anyone, or like question them,
Or,
like interview them, like anything,
Probably Kurt Cobain.
Kurt Cobain?
Yeah.
Specifically,
I was a big Nirvana fan growing up, and he sadly passed away much too young, but he was Like you guys probably don't. You guys weren't even born in the '90s, but I just remember growing up in the '90s. Nirvana was like the thing. That was going on, and so I was a big Nirvana fan. So yeah, probably Kurt Cobain would be the one guy I'd probably like to meet and interview from the past.
Do you think he actually killed himself?
I know that's a big conspiracy theory. I think more than likely he probably did. But I mean, he was a big drug addict. I think that probably made things a lot worse in his life. Unfortunately.
All right, Luca, do you have any more questions?
Well, I mean, I was actually gonna talk about, because it's like I actually asked the same question to like a bunch of other people, and like one lady said Hitler, but like she just wants to like know what was going on at the time. It's like I mean that makes sense because
that makes sense.
Okay, if you could bring back any historical figure, but like, well, I mean any historical figure,
revive him.
Yeah, revive
out of the grave.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
Whether it's to like solve any unsolved mysteries, if it's like to
probably Einstein.
Einstein.
I think if he had another life to live, he could advance science in a major way.
I mean, he did when he was alive. He revolutionized.
What about Isaac?
Broke physics. Like he broke the world of physics.
But what about Isaac Newton? Like he created.
What about Isaac Newton?
Like he created the like world of physics.
We finished from when he started already.
I mean, yeah, but like, could you imagine?
We're in the theoretical business now.
But like, could you imagine? Well, I mean, technically, all of physics now that we know was theoretical to him, and it like came true. You know,
most of physics still is theoretical.
Yeah, they
barely scrape the surface of what physics is and can do.
I remember, I remember seeing a thing that like they found a few universes that like broke the laws of physics.
Yeah,
and it's like I'm gonna be real. I kind of just saw it like as a headline, and so I could be completely wrong.
Maybe the laws of physics are like a relative thing, and it's dependent on where you are.
There's probably a lot of factors that go into physics.
Because I mean, we have like observable particles. And stuff
like time differs based on like where you are. There's factors that alter time.
Differs based on how fast you're going.
Yeah. Black holes.
Maybe it's all relative. Maybe all of our rules are fake. And we've just been wrong the whole time.
And maybe this is just the Matrix and we're not really here doing
anything. Maybe we just keep changing.
Maybe we think we're doing things.
Change the law of physics every once in a while, keep us on our toes.
So I think about that sometimes. It's like, what if the world was a simulation? It's like, I don't think I'd even want to know, because it's like
I don't feel like I gain anything.
You don't get anything from that knowledge except like
unless I get fun magic. That'd be awesome.
That would be cool. Like if somehow knowing I'm in a simulation, I can do stuff with the code or whatever. Like that'd be kind of cool.
That'd be great.
But if you can't, then it's like you're only giving yourself like an existential crisis.
Yeah, but I mean, like that's what Neo can do. Can't Neo alter the code of the Matrix? Yeah.
I mean, like the real question is, if we were in a simulation, would we be just like two people, or would we just be lines of code that were conscious, if that even means anything? What if we couldn't escape? What if we were in a Matrix and we just couldn't get out? Like, what does it matter at that point?
All of human history just being a code.
That'd be crazy.
That would be crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that's a little existential. I don't know how useful that question is.
Giving our viewers existential crises right now.
Amen.
Man, I'm out of questions.
Me too. Well, I mean, honestly, we used about the time that we thought we did. That we. I can speak.
So, you have anything else you want to say? You want to plug anything? Your social media?
No, I'm not a social media person.
I'm not.
I still have a Facebook account that I rarely check. So
that's fair. Well, it was great interview.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, it was good being here.
Good time.
Yeah, it was great to know you a little bit better. And we'll have the editing done, and I'll show it to you overnight.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you.
Good deal.